Hi, folks. My name is Danny. Welcome to Danny's Corner. In today's video, I want to continue talking about what I began on the previous video, which was, are we still the United States of America? I talked about that we were at one point, but now we sadly are not. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Again, my name is Danny. I'm a totally blind individual who is trying to make sighted people aware of blindness. All this month is Blindness Awareness Month, where people like doctors and other specialists and people who work with blind individuals make people aware of blindness, the causes, and how to stop it, and how you can live with blindness. On this channel, though, I want to expand that, and I want to add that we're not only going through physical blindness as individuals, but as a whole, as a society, we're also going through spiritual blindness. And I think one of the things worse than physical blindness is spiritual blindness. Because with physical blindness, as I have shown in other videos, you can get over that. What I'm saying is you will always be blind if you become blind or whatnot, and if there's no surgery for you, you will always be blind. Or I should say, you will always be blind, but it all depends on the circumstances that you're in. But regardless, you could do a lot of things in spite of your blindness. You could still survive in this world. You could still live a productive life as a member of this society. You could learn new skills. Who knows what the future holds for blind people in the next 20 to 30 years? What I'm saying is spiritual blindness is so much harder to get around. You don't have a cane to guide you. You might have people to direct you which way to go, but people are not listening. People are not hearing. People are not reading anything. So this is why I decided to create this channel and explore topics such as this one. The previous video was about, again, why did we end up the way that we are now? And I talked about the foundation of this nation and how some things were never resolved. Some things were never talked about. So when you sweep things under the rug and pretend it as if they had never existed, these things will rear their ugly head again. The other thing is, as far as I know, the president or Congress or the Senate never addressed this issue. They never gave a speech, never issued an apology, never did anything, as far as I'm concerned, to calm the waters. They just said, oh, here's a war, and it inevitably happened, but nothing after that. Laws were just put into place, and that was that. But as I also said yesterday, there's always going to be people that are going to enact more laws to circumvent other laws, to make sure that people will stay disenfranchised and so forth and so on. And it's being done today, as I also said on my other video. So this is not just about, oh, we won a war, we enacted certain laws. That's not enough. We need to have presidents, the Senate, Congress, and I believe it could have been much easier then because it was a much smaller country. It was only 13 states, or maybe more by that time. But, even if this would have been done during slavery, I think we would have gotten somewhere. Anyway, but the thing is, what can we do today? Yes, I left in my other video, I left with the thing of, okay, Southern pride. That was my last point in the other video. How pride is nothing. Who are we trying to impress? What are we proud of? And is our pride based on exactly what? When we have to create another flag, when we already have one, when we feel proud of something, when other people obviously are suffering, there's nothing to be proud of. Am I making any sense? So, for example, let's take the independence of the United States. A lot of people celebrate that as the independence of the United States from England, and now we get our freedoms, and people start doing cookouts, and fireworks go off at random. But think who is left behind. Who's not celebrating? Think about what people or what group of people feel as if they don't belong, as if they think that this holiday is pointless and meaningless, because at the end of the day, only some people got their freedom. I was mentioning as well that this phrase of we the people was not always we the people. Go and watch that first video. I also mentioned yet another video that justice for all was not justice for all. We need to really think about the things that are included in our symbols, because we may not be living up to what these symbols say. Bring the weary, in God we trust. What else? With liberty and justice for all. And there are so many other things. I will talk about a lot of these things again as the days progress, as this channel keeps on growing. The thing that we need to remember is that we have let pride get in the way. Everything from Southern pride to Christian pride to just pride in general. We must always make sure that we do not get too extreme with anything religious, political, or social views. Because no matter what, there is bound to be corruption, there's bound to be a bad seed when power and money and special interests and politics and a hunger to have more, when all of those things are involved, something is going to fall eventually. And right now we're blaming everybody else, the right, the left, Christians, atheists, scientists, you name it. But we are not looking within ourselves to see, how am I contributing to the destruction of my city, my country, even myself? How am I tearing my family apart? And as I said with the first video, that's what needed to happen right after the Civil War. To have a speech and say, here's what we've been doing wrong for a long time, and it's time to fix it. And it's time to let go of old ideas, of preconceived notions, and admit that we were wrong so we can start the healing process. And we are not doing that today. We have swept things under the rug, and we still think that somehow, somewhere, we were the greatest nation on earth. According to whom? If we compare ourselves to other countries, let me tell you something. We are never going to achieve anything. This is not a contest. Let's see who's greater than everybody else. Be the best that you can be. Not because we want to achieve more than one country or the other, but because we want to give our citizens, as far as it concerns to us, we want to give our citizens the best that we can offer them without thinking if this country is doing it better than us or worse than us. And the United States definitely has the money to do it. And for those people that say, oh, but these people are doing this and these people are cheating the system and whatnot, there are always going to be people like that. There are always going to be liars. There are always going to be thieves. There are always going to be corrupt people. There's always going to be people that do bad deeds on earth. We should not allow for those people, for that environment, to take away our joy. We should not allow those people to steal our happiness, to take away hope, to take away the things that we treasure the most, to become cynical. We should still keep on giving and make these punishments much harsher for people that do commit fraud, that do all of these things. In the next video, I want to talk about American symbols. I know I've talked about one of them in these two videos, which is the Southern flag, and how it has become shameful. But on this next video, I want to talk about the U.S. flag and really explore it. And I am going to be going back to some of the things that I have said in these two videos. And you might think that I'm repeating myself a lot, but it's very important that we get this through our head. Because the first reason and the main reason why we are where we are is because day in, day out, through different ways such as media and society itself, we got told over and over and over again that we were great, that this nation did this and did that. And that's how we developed a haughty spirit. That's why we developed this attitude. First me and then everybody else. So now we must do the opposite. We must educate people by telling them constantly what we did wrong and what we can do right, over and over and over and over again, repeated as if it was the ABCs. We need to learn these things again. So, yep, the next video is going to be on the American symbols, and I may spend one or more videos on the individual symbols. And again, what I'm trying to do is see if we can think about what we have done wrong and some of the things that we can do right now. What can we do as a nation to bring us back, to step back from this unavoidable drop? We're at the brink of collapsing as a nation. And I'm just not criticizing the United States because whatever, some personal vendetta or anything. No, I really want this nation to succeed in every way. I want this nation to prosper. I want this nation to have a brighter future. But I don't see that happening if we keep on blaming one another, and if we keep on closing doors to those people who want to be a part of our society. We do not necessarily have to agree with everyone around us who might be different than us. But that doesn't mean that compassion, empathy should go flying out the window just because you don't agree with someone. What we are right now is a nation twisted up in knots. And what, as a nation, as individuals, we need to do is try to get those knots loose enough, and then we can try to straighten and untangle this cable, if you will. Thank you very much for joining me. If you have liked this video, make sure to subscribe to Danny's Corner. I also have a Spanish channel which is called Hablando con Danny. I talk about the same things. I have a lot of catching up to do. There's a lot of topics I want to cover on both channels. And this is, again, just an attempt to make people reflect, myself included, and hope that we can reach some sort of an impasse, some sort of an understanding, something. But we need to do it now, before it's too late and we can't look back. So yeah, these topics are always kind of exhausting because there's so much to talk about. There's so much that we can explore. So please, ask questions too. What are your comments? I would like to hear from you. have a dialogue, and see if together we can make an effort to take this country in another direction. And as I said in my previous video, stop waiting for a politician, for some political savior to come and rescue us. When all of us, politicians included, can make this United States, broken as it is, united again. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.